Good morning. Well, at least it's morning for me, probably going to be night for you, but it is that time where I am going to do my September TBR. So I'm all decked out. I curled my hair a little bit, it's pinned back, and I have my leaf earrings. I have my window open and I'm noticing like the leaves are falling, and it is a great 90 degrees here in the South. We had 100-degree weather since June, and now it's starting to come down, and honestly I am very happy because I do feel that difference. So it's putting me into a fall mood, and this outfit was a great choice. Normally in September I don't feel like fallish yet, just because in the South we have like higher temps until October. So I don't really feel those fall vibes until like mid-October or like sometimes early October. But now, yeah, I've just been feeling fall vibes, and a lot of booktubers are coming out with their fall TBRs, and it's just putting me in that nice fall mood. So anyway, enough rambling. You're here for the TBR game. So let's do a recap from last month. I had four books, and the first one that I got with my prompt was Quasimodo, read a book similar to my last pick. My last pick was Mansfield Park. That was the last one that I picked in the August TBR video. So I picked The Secret of Pembroke Park, and I did complete this. The next one I got was True Love, read a romance. And for that I picked The Merchant's Daughter, and I did read that. The next pick was His Merchandise, read a book with a male on the cover. And for that I read Just 18 Summers by Renee Gutteridge and Michelle Cox, and I did read that. So as you can see, I completed my TBR for the month of August. As far as September goes, there are quite a few readathons going out there. I just completed my back to school readathon vlog, which should come up later on, and so I gotta edit that. But I really looked at some of these readathons, and there was one that I'm going to do, and I'm going to tweak this one. This readathon is called the Tolkien Readathon, and I'll put who it's hosted by below. But I am going to be doing that, but I'll explain more about it after we see the roles. So let's go ahead and go to role number 1. Okay, so here is the gameplay. Honestly, I think my husband was right here. I cannot remember, but I knew it was either this one or this one, but he agreed right here would be fine. Now, I have our stack of cards. I had to add the rest of the deck because there was only 2 cards left. So I did shuffle off camera. So maybe next time I'll do that on camera, but these 2 were the only ones not used. So I will put them right here. Here is roll number 1. Okay. That is a 1. Great. 1. All right. This one says, reflection, read a book with a name in the title. Okay. For role number 1, I got reflection, read a book with a name in the title. So this book I decided to pick was The Mozart Code by Rachel McMillan. All I know about this book is that it is set during the Cold War. It has a marriage of convenience plot to it, I guess, and Mozart is the name in the title, and that's all I know about it. But it sounds interesting. I think it's also like kind of like spy-esque to it. Or I don't think it's a word, but it's my made up word, right? Well, I love to do that. But yeah, so this is gonna be my first pick.
Well, that was not a great start. But this one, I know I'm gonna roll a big one. So roll number 2. All right, that is a 7.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, card says,
Do you trust me? Spouse pick. Oh, lovely.
The second card that I got was Do You Trust Me, which is spouse pick. And I gave my husband free range to look on my story graph to be read list, and he picked State of Lies by Siri Mitchell, and I'm excited. I know Katie has mentioned that she loved this book, and from what I know about it, is actually also I think it's like a spy book as well. It talks about this woman and her husband was killed in a car crash, but he was supposedly going to the grocery store or some errand. And it turns out that he was actually found not where he was supposed to go, and there is something sinister going on because it's not just an accident. It was like targeted, and then now I think they're targeting her and her family. So that's all I know about it, and I'm excited to also read that as well.
Final roll. Please be a big one. Okay, this is clearly, there we go, a 9. I'll take it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. What have we got for this one?
Flopsome and Jetsome. Read a book under 300 pages. All right. Although, I will be honest, I don't think I have much. Okay, so those were my rolls.
Okay, and my last prompt I got was Flotsam and Jetsam. Read a book under 300 pages. And so for this book, I am going to choose, I failed to pick it up with me, but I have it, and it is Mere Christianity. I do have this book. It is actually in a different room right now. So there's a quick picture of it right there, but yes, Mere Christianity. This is C.S. Lewis's writing, well-known theology, and I'm excited to take my time with this one. I'm glad that it's under 300 pages. I think it's like 290 something, but I'm not entirely sure. But this, I am very interested in just taking it slow and maybe do this as a buddy read with my husband. And then we can just talk all things theology this month. So I'm glad that came up. Okay, so that one was my game. And now I'm going to tell you what I'm picking for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. So last month I had picked The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I actually DNF'd this book, and I'll explain more in my wrap-up, but I did turn to page 50, and there is a screenshot of page 50, and there were a lot of words I could choose from, but I decided to go with the word garden. And for her challenge is you have to turn to page 50 and select a word on that page for it to be in the title of the next book. And so I picked garden, and the book that I chose is The Lavender Garden. This is a historical fiction, and it's dual timeline. It is set in World War II, and then the other timeline is 1998, and it is set kind of in France, and there's a mystery that goes on, and it might have something to do with spies as well. I don't know. There is family mysteries and hopefully I will like it. And yeah, that was my pick. So those were my rolls and the Chantel's Reach Your Bookshelf Challenge. Now, before I go into my husband's rolls, I am going to talk about a readathon that I will be doing. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm doing the Tolkien Readathon. And this one I'm excited about. I actually just finished this last week watching the second Lord of the Rings movie, and I mean, I've seen them before, but it was nice to go back into that world. And we started the first one earlier this last month, and just haven't gotten around to the second one. We were trying to watch all three, so oh well, better late than never. But I love this world that Tolkien created. I've never read any of his books, so I know that's going to be the goal one day, but it is not this day. Anyway, so I know that this readathon is hosted all month of September. Now, I'm going to tweak the way I do this readathon. I'm actually going to extend this readathon into 2 months, at least that's what I'm hoping to do. How this readathon works is that it's a choose your journey kind of readathon, and she explains it better in her video, so I'll even try to find and if I figure out how to link a video, I'll do that. But essentially what she said is that you can choose between doing the Hobbit trilogy or the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and whatever trilogy you choose, then you get to decide if you want to go the route of dwarf, hobbit, man, and wizard, which is for Gandalf. And then once you pick which route you want to go to, then you have which character within that route you want to branch off to. So she has some characters in there. And so that you journey through Middle Earth. And I thought that was a really cool concept. There are a lot of different ways to go, and I'm not going to do all the different ways now. I'm just going to choose one route. And some of these prompts are also not reading prompts. They are activity or just easier prompts like that, or non-reading prompts. So that kind of helps a little bit more. Now that was all explained, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for my 2 months with this challenge. So I'm actually going to start a new series called Journey Through Middle Earth. And I don't know if that's been taken anywhere or anything at all, but that's how I'm going to name my series. And I am going to give updates of my path through Middle Earth, because her prompts are different places that the characters take through their journey through Middle Earth in the trilogy speaking. So an example would be like I'm doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy part, and I'm going to be taking the Hobbit path. And so some of the places they go to is like Bag End, Buckleberry Ferry, Bree, Weathertop, Rivendell, and so in each of those places have a prompt. So I want to be able to explain, I guess, to kind of take you on with my journey. And so every week on Sunday, I'm hoping to upload. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a short video. It's not going to be super long. And I'm going to tell you where I am in my adventure, I guess, on the map of Middle Earth, and what I'm currently reading, and then what I have read. And that's what I'm hoping to do for the month of September and October. And by the end of October, hopefully I get through and the ring is destroyed and we have that happily ever after. If not, then I'll just tell you where I ended and where I probably got stuck on, and you get the gist. So I hope all that makes sense. Also, because I'm gonna do this series, I probably will not do a wrap up, especially if I am going through my books, what I've read week by week. I feel like it gets redundant if I do any wrap up of any sort, unless I read extra books that aren't part of the prompts. So we'll see. I might change my mind last minute, but as of now, I don't plan on doing a wrap up. Okay, so now that that's all being said, I will tell you which path that I'm taking. I already mentioned that I'm taking the Lord of the Rings trilogy route, and I'm going as a hobbit, and the characters I'm going to go through are going to be Frodo and Sam, because Sam is my favorite in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, or at least one of my favorites. Legolas and Gimli are pretty close there as a favorite, but I'm going to do the Hobbit route. Anyway, so the first place we are going to start is in Bag End. And Bag End, of course, is where the hobbits live. And the prompt is to read a book that features or involving a party. Because the movie starts off with Bilbo's big birthday party celebration. So, the book that I'm going to choose for this one, it's actually right behind me. And it's a hefty one, but I'm going to choose this story. This is the Bible as one continuing story of God and his people. This is forwarded by Max Lucado and Randy Frazee, and they have selections from the New International Version. So essentially, this is the whole scripture, the whole Bible, but written as a continual story. So I've seen this before. I've never read it. I'm excited to do it. It's just written in a way to where it shows the whole story. So I'm excited to read this, and that's what we're going to start Bag End with. Oh, and the reason why I chose this, because there are parts in scriptures that do talk about feasts and parties. I mean, Jesus's first miracle was at a wedding, so I would consider a wedding a party, or at least his first like public miracle, which was turning water into wine. And the book of Revelation talks about this banquet, and so when we go to heaven, I mean, he's laying a feast before us, and there's parables about banquets, and so it involves a party, and one day we're gonna have that party, and our place is gonna be set before us. So this would be a great read. And my first video of this is actually gonna be posted on the 10th, where I'll tell you if I had completed the book and if I've been through Bag End. But just in case, my next place from Bag End will be Buckleberry Ferry. So hopefully I can get there by next week, and I will tell you what book I picked for that one. If you're ever interested in learning about the prompts with the Lord of the Rings readathon, she does have a Google Doc where it tells you all the prompts. So if this piqued your interest a little, I would recommend to look at those prompts. And yeah, I am done with my portion of this video. And so let's just look real quick at my husband's roles.
Okay, so these are my husband's rolls. Now the first roll he has to make is a backwards one. So hopefully it's a big roll back, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, put it to the camera. There we go, a 6, so he has to go backwards 6. Okay. And it's a prompt. And it says, a dream is a wish. The last letter from the previous pick needs to be the first letter of the new book. Ooh, okay. Second roll. Oh man, that might be game, but let's see the die. Oh, no, it was 5. I thought it was, okay. 5. All right, he's, oh, gotta take 2. All right, first card says, tale as old as time, read a book with at least 2 timelines. Oof, I feel like you got that one. Second one, ooh, 3 good fairies. Okay, so for this one, he has to do a random a random number generator, and whatever number he gets is one of these 3. Okay, final roll. Oh, and that seems to be game. It's an 11. All right, so he gets to either decide if he's going to mood read or if he's going to pick a card for this last one.
Mood.
And he chose mood. That's game.
So as you can tell, my husband did not complete his book for this month, and he had to roll backwards. His first prompt is a dream is a wish. The last letter from the previous pick needs to be the first letter of the new book. And that was the book that, I guess the last book that he picked to read, which he didn't finish. And the last letter was a T, so he kind of lucked out on that one. So he's got to find a book that starts with the letter T. The second prompt, we actually had a double prompt, which is 3 good fairies. So you can't really see as well, but I'll read it to you. It has 3 options, and these are our non-reading prompts. So option 1 is complete a craft project. Option 2 is complete a baking project. And number 3 was complete a house project. And the reason why I added these 3 random things, if you've seen Sleeping Beauty, the 3 fairies are getting ready for Aurora's birthday, and so the first fairy, she is trying to make the dress, so that's where the crafting comes in. The second fairy is trying to bake the cake, and so baking. And then the third one gets stuck doing house chores, so house. So that's where my idea came from. But anyway, I helped him do a random number generator, and it showed you that he got the number 3. We do push the generate button 3 times, so he got house project. So his next prompt that he got was tale as old as time. Yet again, he got this one, and he got this one probably 2 months ago, but it's read a book with at least 2 timelines. And you know, he had a hard time even that first time he got it, but we have some good options. But yeah, and the last thing he got was a mood read, because he actually finished the game, so he gets to mood read or whatever he wants to do to add to that prompt activity wise. And yeah, so he's kind of got an easy-ish month ahead of him, except that house project. We'll see what he picks for that one. But yeah. Okay, so this was a long video, but I'm excited to start September, and I am curious, what are your reads? Anyway, I hope you have a great reading month, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.